Well, hello there, my fellow Marines. How are you doing today? King Rexy here. Today we're gonna be finishing off our hero reviews for Armor's Invasion. Last time we left on a little bit of a sad note with the Red Dragon, but now we're gonna be getting an actual dragon, Kosmos.
Unleash my wrath. Only ashes will remain.
So yeah, Kosmos. He is the other $7 character that you can buy, and holy crap, this thing is stupendously good. Like, compared to Red Dragon, it's gonna be night and day. About his stats, though, I wanna touch on his stats a little bit. He has pretty high health for a flying unit. His health is relatively high. He has some armor, but I think it's a little bit lower than Red Dragon's armor. His basic attack is by far the most unique thing I've ever seen because it creates zones that it makes a small area set on fire, and the fire deals damage over time. And his attack can ignore some armor, so he kind of deals he can ignore some armor. It's not like complete true damage, but he can definitely bypass some armor with his basic attack, which is very nice. And movement speed wise, he's fine. The only thing is that his range is a bit iffy. He can only hit units that are kind of close to him, so you have to kind of move him in range most of the time, but actually you don't, because he has a relatively long aggro range. But the main power for him comes from his abilities, and his abilities are just ridiculous. Starting off, Stellar Breath. Kosmos concentrates his energy to create a small star and launches it at the enemies. The longer Kosmos charges it, the more powerful the star. The star deals area damage over time. Tap once to charge the star, tap again to release it. So yeah, he starts charging up a star, and the red one, it starts off as a red star, which is the weakest, then a yellow one, which is meh. The main thing that you want to be looking for is the blue one. Once the star becomes blue, you want to launch it, and it's gonna do a pretty solid amount of damage. But the cooldown of this thing is slow, so you're not gonna be able to pop it up very often. And the other thing is that you can't really move Kosmos. I mean, you can, but it's gonna completely cancel the ability out. So for quite a while, he's actually gonna be stationary and not being able to defend himself. He's gonna be exposed to the enemies. So you gotta keep that in mind. But for just some area damage over time, is it really worth it? Well, if it was just that, then no, it will be a terrible ability. But the rank ups make it just phenomenal. Supernova. When a medium or large star dies, it explodes into a supernova, dealing great damage around it. So yeah, when the star is done dealing its damage over time in an area, it explodes and nukes everything. Well, not really everything, it deals rather high damage, but it doesn't really matter because the gold rank makes this rank up completely obsolete. Black Hole. After a large size star goes supernova, it leaves a black hole that attracts all enemies within range, killing them instantly. AoE insta-kill. Do I need to say more than that? Now, the only thing is that it's a large star, so we're talking about like the blue star. If you summon a yellow one, it's not gonna have the same effect. So yeah, normally what I like doing is, if I need just some area damage, I just go for a yellow star. If I see a bunch of high tier enemies, I just go for the blue one. But again, it does take a while to charge, as you're about to see in the gameplay that's gonna come up in a bit. But before that, let's talk about the rest of his abilities. Starting off with, continuing on with Draconic Barrage. Releases a barrage of missiles from his cybernetic implants, which can target enemies and allies. Enemies are damaged and allies receive an aura that deals damage over time around them. So that's pretty cool, and he does launch a lot of missiles. And I forgot to mention that, but against flying enemies, he cannot use his basic attack. He does launch a missile though every like second or two, so it's not like he cannot hit flying enemies completely, but he's definitely not the greatest when it comes down to dealing with a horde of aero units. So yeah, the missiles are for that. You can use them to just deliver some damage right away and to make some of your units stronger. And the rank ups make it even better, especially the silver one. Caustic Component. Targeted enemies take additional damage over time. Targeted allies take less damage while the aura is active, so you make enemies take more damage that you hit, and the allies that you hit with the missiles, on top of getting their damage over time, or they also take reduced damage. That's ridiculous. That's really good. The gold rank though is If a targeted enemy dies from this ability, they explode, burning the ground and dealing damage to enemies that touch the flames. I mean, it's fine, but his basic attack already melts clumped low tier enemies and sometimes mid tier enemies, so I don't really see why this is a thing, but it is what it is. It makes the ability stronger, so we'll just roll with it. So, if you've noticed an issue with Red Dragon, how he died to enemies that deal aerial bonus damage against aerial units really quickly, well, Kosmos doesn't have the same issue because of this skill, Bioengineers. Expert technical squads that are in charge of the functionality of Kosmos' bionic parts. They possess high-tech equipment to heal Kosmos or deal damage to the enemy. So they heal him, and when they say heal him, they heal him by a crap ton. The regen shells can't heal that much. So it's not like he becomes immortal while these guys are healing him or anything, but he definitely can tank for way longer than any other tank can do. And he's the flying unit on top of that. He's not even meant to be tanky, yet these guys turn him into a flying tank. It's ridiculous. And then they can also target enemies, but their damage is a little bit on the low side. However, it is armor piercing, so they can do true damage at least. But what really makes this ability good is also the rank ups. Frequency settings is the silver rank. Bioengineers now have a chance to stun enemies for 1 second. So if they're targeting enemies, especially a high tier one, you can potentially stun them for a very long time, because even though it's just a chance and the stun is 1 second, they do damage over time. Their damage is they do persistent damage basically. They do damage per tick. So yeah, they can apply the stun quite frequently. And last but not the least, unstable pack. After they die or their time ends, they drop their backpacks, which explodes, causing high damage around them. So if they're about to die, you can just put them in the middle of the enemies and just let them do some area damage upon leaving. Yeah, Kosmos is ridiculous, as you can tell. But that's just on paper. Let's see how good he is in actuality. Let's go on to Killing Grounds and let's destroy some enemies. Okay, there we go. Okay, Kosmos. As you can see, he has pretty cool looking design. That's one. If coolness factor is something that you're looking for, Kosmos is really cool. Movement speed wise, a bit on the slow side, I would say. I think Red Dragon moves a little bit faster, but that's besides the point. Let's just see how fast he melts this building. Holy crap, Batman! What is that damage? Look at that. Look at that building disintegrating, quite literally. Bruh. Yeah. This guy is definitely on the OP side of things. Okay, let's go for a Mauler, another set of Snapperonis, go for a Mortar. You know what? Usually I move my units in with some enemies, but this time I'm just gonna do this. Let's just put him up and see how he does. How is he gonna do? Look at that. Burn! Burn, enemies, burn! I mean, yeah, against enemies who have higher health, they're gonna take a while to die, but still. He is doing really good. Let's launch in the missiles. There you go. As you can see, they do relatively good damage. It's not stupendously high or anything, but it's some damage. Okay, now let's move him out because, as you can see, he is taking damage. It's not like he is immortal. At least not yet. Okay, let's go for another set of Snapperonis. Also, somebody is attacking him. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, let's just recall. Let's recall up in here. And let's prepare for this. Yeah, you know what, actually. We can just go right by them. Let's just do that. We'll let the mortars deal with this guy. Okay, let's take care of this, and we're gonna start raiding the base. Okay, it's gonna take a while for the Mauler to get in, though. I should have turned him into a Gale, but he's already on the move, so I'm a little bit lazy to do so. Also, here are his stats. As you can see, health-wise, very high. Armor, he does have a little bit of armor, but as you can see, even though it says that his damage is on the lower side, he can ignore a good amount of armor. which is really good. And health-wise, yeah, a little bit over 3000. I would say he has about... I think Gauntlet has slightly more health, but not by all that much. I would say like maybe 100, maybe 150 extra health. It's not too significant, but having the durability of a tank is ridiculous. Okay, let's launch the missiles. Launching. Okay, we have this Nemesis, but he kinda already died off, so... yeah. As you can see, the Mauler... okay, let's show you the star. As you can see, for a while, he doesn't really do anything. He's just standing there. There's the blue star. We're gonna launch it in. We're gonna summon our keepers. As you can see, we're getting a lot of health. And the star is gonna blow up. And... kaboom. There you go. Everybody who goes into the area gets absolutely demolished. Demolition up in here. Yeah, Kosmos just shreds stuff. Especially buildings. Even though it doesn't say that he deals bonus damage to buildings, he takes them by far, he takes them really quickly. I think he is the fastest character in the game who can take care of buildings without using any abilities, just his basic attack. I mean, look at that base. Look at that base. Look at this puny little base. It's melting. It's melting like butter. Holy crap, Kosmos, you're broken. Yeah, there's nothing completely and utterly unbalanced about him, though. I mean, he's a $7 character. You should know what you're getting yourself into once you buy something more expensive than the game itself. Let's launch in the missiles, why not? Give our Mauler damage reduction. As you can see, he isn't taking all that much damage, even though he's being attacked. We're doing fine so far. Alright, let's just zoom in a little bit more and just enjoy the demolition. Okay. Kosmos, you did really well. But, as you can see against aero units, he doesn't do all that well. He shoots out a missile every once in a while, but as you can see, against flying enemies, not the greatest. If he shoot out his missiles a little bit faster, maybe he will be really good. But as it is right now, he isn't, unfortunately. Alright, you know what? Let's just go in. Let's go in and take care of this base. Oh, there is no base. Never mind. Okay, I guess in this case we can get up in here and get this Ethereum. Or actually, nah, we don't need to. Let's just incinerate this building. Look at that damage going to town. And yeah, even though he is an aero unit, these guys are supposed to be doing bonus damage. He isn't taking all that much damage, even though they're doing additional damage to him. Like, what? Why? Red Dragon was gonna die 10 times over at that point, but no. We're doing fine. Oh, we're getting a little bit low on HP. Summon the engineers and look at that health regen. Juicy. Juicy. Oh my, okay. And their basic attack, as you can see, it doesn't do all that much. Their basic attack is meh, but because they can stun enemies, it's actually kinda fine. Look at this guy. He's getting absolutely shredded. Okay, let's just launch him some more missiles. Just take care of everybody. Give these guys damage reduction. Alright, there we go. Okay, ooh, actually, we are getting... yeah, we're taking some damage. Maybe I should move him out. Maybe. Let's just take care of these guys. Can we? Nah, I'm not gonna risk it. As you can see, he is really tanky with the guards, with the keepers especially. Or sorry, the bioengineers, but he can definitely die if you're not careful. But it's pretty rare for him to die. If you make this guy die, then you probably did something really stupid, like putting him alone against a gigantic horde of enemies. But yeah, overall, Kosmos, as much as like, I don't like giving 10 out of 10 ratings because, personally speaking, I feel like that just glorifies a hero, but this time I'm gonna make an exception. He deserves a 10 out of 10. He's really good. Again, his only downfall is that he is not the greatest against flying enemies. His attack against flying enemies is strong, but because he doesn't use it because he doesn't shoot it out very frequently, it can be a bit problematic. So if you're using this guy, make sure you have some units that can deal with the arrow units like Apocritters, for example, or Gale. So yeah, guys. Well, with that out of the way, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. But you know what? Before that, let me just do something real quick, because why not? Stellaris! Stellaris! Let's charge up the star. And kaboom! Look at that. Some nice damage we're getting up in here. But yeah, as you can see, the black hole unfortunately doesn't insta-kill buildings. Oh, I summoned the keepers a little bit too late. No. Well, Kosmos died. That was unfortunate. Right as we were about to end the video. Lol. Oh, anyway, as you can see, Kosmos is ridiculous. 10 out of 10. If you wanna buy a character that's gonna make the game easy, then Kosmos is the way to go. If you want the game to be challenging, though, I would say he probably isn't your best option, because let me tell you, the game, even on veteran difficulty, which is the difficulty that we're playing on right now, feels like casual, to be honest. Maybe I'm just too good at the game or something, but yeah, if you're using Kosmos, it has its benefits and negatives, unfortunately. So yeah, well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy. Over and out.